because I just think it'd be better if you didn't. But you're on Ustream live with jbigga and Clarissa Kyle. We're speaking with a medical doctor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you a medical doctor?
Yes.
Okay. He prefers to remain anonymous because of the sensitive nature of this topic. But what we would like to know right now is what the fuck is it possible for a human being to have a dick and a booch at the same time? And we have a couple of questions if that is in fact the case.
A dick and a what?
Can you describe?
He says, okay, so he says there's no such thing as hermaphrodites, and I've said that you can be born, can't you be born like with a vagina but then have like a growth that's like a penis, kind of?
Yes, that happens. There are hermaphrodites.
There are.
So
see?
it's real.
They do exist.
Okay, now I have a question. If you are a lesbian hermaphrodite and you see a hot girl go by, do you get a boner and a wet pussy at the same time?
What?
I think you have to ask that specific lesbian hermaphrodite if you meet her. I can't answer that question.
Well, you know what? I just want to let you know. I'm not that I'm questioning your education, but why would a lesbian man get a boner from a chick?
Wait, the right question would be, okay, are hermaphrodites, are they normally straight or gay? Do you think?
You know.
How many years did you go to medical school for? I mean, no offense, but
point, right? If you're born with both genitalia, straight and gay is really gonna matter on what you perceive as straight is what you're attracted to.
Right.
So,
like there's people who are born, let's say, a woman, but feel they're a man, and they get sex changes, or people who are, born women who feel like
no, I know,
a man, and they get sex changes.
I understand that, okay, but like, what if you're having sex, and you're a hermaphrodite, okay, and then all of a sudden, you see who you're having sex with, and you lose your erection?
What? Doesn't make sense. I don't
Because
get that.
what I'm saying is, how can you be, like, okay, it just doesn't make fucking sense. It's like
They're both not, like, one's not fully functional, like.
Okay, so do hermaphrodites, here's my real question, do hermaphrodites have real, bona fide, both parts? Or is it just like, like, can someone actually have a real cock and balls and a real juicy chotch at the same fucking time?
No.
Yeah, probably.
What? So where are they positioned? Like side by side or above and below?
But, your penis is basically a woman's clitoris.
Right, exactly.
What?
So it's they're the same organ. So with hermaphrodites,
what? They
do not have full conversion from one end to the other. So a woman or a hermaphrodite will be born where the clitoris just keeps on growing, and it looks like a penis, and yet there's a vaginal orifice.
Wait, hold on a second. So a I didn't know this, you guys. Look, it's Discovery Channel with jbigga and Clarissa Kyle. A hermaphrodite is actually a woman with a wiener for a clit.
Right.
Is that true?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I was telling you earlier.
So, okay. It's a girl with a dick clitoris. Is that right? That's
in a way.
Well, there's different genetics behind that, right? What you're saying is what you're talking about is what you're seeing. Like, okay, I see a dick and a vagina, but the genetics might be that she might be a female, or the genetics, like X, I'm sure you've heard of the Y chromosome and the X chromosome. So depending on what that genetic makeup is, the genotype might say differently.
Yeah, so she could be a male.
Just by looking at someone, you can't necessarily tell, especially with a hermaphrodite, if they're genetically a man or a woman.
But what about the balls? I mean, wouldn't kicking a hermaphrodite in the nuts be kind of pointless?
But they don't.
Sometimes they don't have balls.
Yeah.
They're still up top.
But everybody knows if you kick a guy in the balls, he's gonna go, oh! And how can you say that it's a real guy with real guy parts when you kick him in the balls? he doesn't bend over like that?
Just because you don't see something doesn't mean that it's a guy or a girl, right?
Have you ever kicked a hermaphrodite in the balls?
Why would you do that?
I'm just saying, like, if
Russell,
you're gonna...
I'm saying, well, you may not have C-balls is what I'm trying to tell you. You may not see testicles.
Well, I'm not gonna see it because I've never seen anyone who has a dick clitoris before, and I'm just curious, like, holy shit.
China has one.
What?
China has one.
Who's China?
That wrestler. But she has it from doing steroids. Her clitoris grew really
Okay,
big.
this is amazing, you guys. Like, I'm serious. I never knew at all. So, how come it is that we never see hermaphrodite animals?
He's a person.
I don't know.
He's
You
a
have to
person
call a
doctor.
vet for that
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
I'm sure they do exist. I just don't know.
Like, for instance, when you're walking in the park and you see a chick who has a pit bull, you know,
He's not gonna know. He
and
only
you,
knows stuff with
the first
people.
thing you do is check out the pit bull's dick to see the size. Like, you know, because obviously everybody's checking out the guy that the girl is with. You know, like if she's with a dog, you want to see, like, you know, do I have a chance, right?
What?
How come you never see pit bulls with a cha-cha and a dick or a dick clitoris?
He just said because he's not a vet, so he's not gonna know anything, or a zoologist. He's not gonna know
And
anything about
I'm
animals.
not accustomed to checking out pit bull penises when they're walking in the park.
Me either. I actually
don't
think
know.
it's disgusting.
But I mean-
don't know if, that's something everybody does.
But I mean,
honest.
every guy does this. You don't have to be a doctor just to check the size.
What are you talking
Well,
about? Who
okay.
looks for dogs' penises?
What? Anyways, look, I don't mean to change the subject, but this is amazing, you guys. I'm serious. Like, I've never heard anything about this before. Dick clitoris? That's insanity. It really is insanity. Thank you so much for calling.